Let me ask you something honestly, yeah? Why are you investing? Is it because people are saying you should invest? Is it because like you hear there is the hype of MMFs? Is it because like people are now moving towards stocks or real estate? Or do you actually know why you're investing and what that money is for? Because that is where most people go wrong. Yeah, they are investing but they don't have a specific goal, and when money doesn't have direction, yeah, it doesn't grow with a purpose. Today I want us to talk about goal-based investing. Yeah, not just investing, to invest with a goal in mind, because without having a goal in mind, you're just investing for no particular purpose. Anything just pops up, you just get that money that you had already invested.
Alright, hello Jenny.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm alright.
Today we're talking about investing.
Yes.
And the first question, why do most people struggle with investing?
Why most people struggle with investing? I'll give you a story. Yeah, these days I love stories.
Very much.
Meet Kevin. Yeah, Kevin earns very well, he saves very well, but when he's saving, he just puts all his money in an MMF account. Yeah, he buys a land somewhere, then tries circles because yeah, colleagues are in a circle, so they decide to just join in one of the circles. But 5 years later, Kevin doesn't have clarity. What do I mean by this? Because he just bought a land, he joined a circle, he just stashed money in an MMF. This is not clarity. This is investment without financial goals. And he has investments, yes, but he has no direction. And in those 5 years, anything pops up, Kelvin will just go and get the stash that he had put in the money market. But if he had a particular goal why he's saving and putting money in that money market account, this would have like the money would have direction. Many people don't are not failing because they lack money. They are failing because they lack clarity and direction. And the reason of why am I investing? What's the goal at the end of it all? Yeah, so basically that's what we refer to as goal-based investing.
Now, referencing from the last point that you just said,
Yes.
now what is goal-based investing? What is this investing with a goal?
Goal-based investing is simply putting a shilling, or rather putting every shilling you invest with a purpose, not just growth, but with a good direction. Let me give an example. Yeah, when you want to put aside money for, like, you decide this is money is for school fees, this is for buying land, this is for my retirement, maybe this is to open a business in like a year or 2 years, this is for my children, either can be college one, can be all those. Yeah, that is the purpose of the goal. Yeah, so instead of asking where should I invest this money, you start by analyzing these were my goals. So you start asking yourself, what am I investing for? And the question changes everything basically.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And why is investing without a goal dangerous?
It's actually very dangerous because when life happens, yeah, and life, honestly, life happens, yeah, like an emergency comes in shags, maybe sickness happens in the family, you lose a job, emergency, life happens. So you withdraw, you end up doing a withdrawal randomly. You disrupt all your investments. So you mix long-term money with short-term needs. So without that direction, it's easier when I give a scenario. Yeah,
Yeah.
you invested in land for retirement,
Mm-hmm.
and you decided that parcel of land that I'm buying will be used for my retirement. Then college school fees comes. Maybe you had not planned that. The kids, of course, most people like college kombali, so
Yeah.
we don't plan for it on time. So it comes, and so pressure starts popping in. And so what do? You sell that parcel of land that you had bought prematurely, without any, because you didn't have that buffer, and you say, I'll still save for my retirement. So goals without a plan and will always make us maybe to have panic. You withdraw because of you're emotional at the moment, you lose your returns, and you restart again because you had not basically planned for some of those goals. and the cycle continues, and it's so exhausting. But basically, it's time for people, if at all you're investing, have a direction, have clarity. Why am I investing? What goal do I want to achieve? If it's retirement, do I really need to put it in a parcel of land? Do I need, which vehicles should I do? So basically that's it.
Okay, so you've talked about the dangers of investing without a goal.
Yeah.
So what type of goals should we invest for?
I answered previously. Okay, I didn't know you were coming to this. Let's simplify this. Yeah, there are three main goals type. Yeah, there's short term, there's medium term, there's long term. Yeah, let's start with short term. Short term goals basically range between maybe 0 to 2 years. Some books will say 0 to 1 year, and these are goals maybe for like maybe school fees, maybe vacation, family vacay, and sometimes maybe emergency fund. But I always say for emergency fund, depends on you. It can be short term, it can be long term, and these need liquidity and safety because they are short term goals, and so that cash is quickly needed. So you put them in an asset, or rather in a vehicle where like it's easier to liquidate them. Then we go to medium term goals. This one range between 2 years to 3 years. Some books will say between 1 to 3, depending. Yeah, so we basically say maybe 2 to 5 years, and this is maybe goal like buying parcel of land, maybe starting a business, maybe buying that car, be it your first car, be it your dream car, depends. Yeah, so these are moderate growth and stability. So the vehicle can, at least you can put in a vehicle where they can maybe be locked for like 2 years, 3 years, and so on. And then we have finally long-term goals, and this one basically go to more than 5 years. Some books will write plus 6 years, and these are goals like retirement, your college funds for your kids, wealth building basically, and these need a lot of growth. So not all money should be treated the same, because not all goals are the same. So once you identify this type of goal is a short term, this type of goal is a medium term, this type of goal is a long term, you will basically know where to put that money.
Okay, now just a reference just from the past question.
Yeah.
We're having a flow. How do I match goals to the investments?
Okay. So now, once you already set aside, like you've decided, like this is my short-term goal, this is my medium, this is my long-term. Short-term goals, it's easier to put them maybe in an MMF account or bank savings account, or even there are some circles, sometimes they give the flexibility of withdrawals. But for medium-term goals, I would advocate SACCO more than short-term goals. And so you find yourself like people confuse and put like aside their SACCO money in a short-term for their short-term goal in a SACCO. It's okay if there is flexibility in liquidating that money, but I would say short-term, stick with MMFs and the bank savings account. Then medium-term goals, stick with maybe a SACCO or even T-bills, because bills go for 3 months depending, or a bond that goes for like below 5 years. Then long-term goals, there is equities, there is real estate, there is so much, like there is even long-term bonds. So basically those are some of the vehicles. Take now a scenario, yeah. If you put school fees money in a risky investment, for example, like your school fees, you decide there is a lot of hype in stocks, and so you decide, I put this money for school fees and buy stocks. You see, that will be a risk investment, because when need be, that stock that you bought, maybe the rate at the moment is lower, so you start creating stress. And then put another scenario, yeah. If you put your retirement money in a low growth account, you see, now you're creating a bit of delay, because the retirement money will take a bit of time before growth comes in. So basically matching is everything, and that is how you will start seeing value for your money.
Okay, and how much should I invest for each goal that I have?
Basically, how much you need to invest, yeah. Let's make it very practical, yeah. start with define the goal amount. The moment you sit down, like now for example, I'll still use school fees because kids have closed school and May is coming. Sit down, they came home with invoice, and you know, like in May and in September they need to go to school, and this is the amount of school fees that I am needed. We get income on a monthly basis, so you take that, maybe say for example 50,000 or 60,000, you divide by 3. You know, like every month I'll be putting aside what? The 20,000 for the school fees. So basically that's it. Then you define timeline. If at all you're saving for September and you're starting now, you say by end of August I need to have fulfilled this amount. And now you break it down into monthly contributions like I have done. You can even go a notch higher and do maybe a longer term. Say for example, school fees in 3 years will cost me like say for example maybe 300. So that's about 8,300 per month approximately. Now this becomes manageable, and so you start, it gives you clarity without overwhelming you, because you know after every month I need to set aside 8,300 for my fee.
Okay. And what mistakes do people make when either investing or even making these goals?
Some common mistakes that most people make is you're investing without a goal, like we have kept on insisting. You mix up all your funds in different vehicles that are not supposed to be. You start chasing a lot of trends just because you want to start investing. So you hear forex, you hear stocks. I'm not saying they're bad, but do it with a goal in mind and understand what you're investing for. And another common mistake, people withdrawing too early. Maybe you decided like I'm putting aside money for equity, and we know like stocks are longevity. So you decide like after 2 years you just withdraw that amount of money. So that is another common mistake. And finally, one of the major biggest mistake that people make is not reviewing their progress. Yes, you started investing, but do you keep on reviewing that progress? I keep insisting, when you go on a money date, that is some of the things that you do. You just don't do budgeting or looking at the expense. You also review your goals. So okay, without cutting you short, let me give you another story. There's Grace. So Grace hears that investing in real estate, buying land is very good. But Grace didn't have any plan. She doesn't have a timeline. She doesn't know about like development of that land. She just wants ownership. And so she just decides, let me just go for it without any strategy. And that is now what we refer to as reaction, rather than sitting down and analyze, do I really need land? And maybe you'll find like maybe Grace loves traveling. And so would she have first prioritized traveling or buying that land? So basically that's what we mean by common mistakes, just moving with the hype without you internalizing, what do I really need to do?
So after analyzing each and everything, how then do I start? How do I start right now to invest?
Some of the simple steps that you need to do so that you can maybe start. 1, write down your top 3 financial goals. Then 2, assign timelines. And 3, choose appropriate investment vehicles. Then 4, start small. And finally, keep on reviewing them on a monthly basis. You just don't need to start like as in very big. You just need to start with a clarity and clear plan and, you know, a good direction. Basically, what I say is money is not just numbers. It's your life. It's your children, it's your future, it's the peace that we keep on craving for. So when money has direction, your life has direction. So if you want help building your investments, maybe the strategy with your investment, maybe goal setting and vision board step by step, join our upcoming Wealth Builder Masterclass. It's the next cohort is in May. We do it every Wednesday. So we just basically don't talk about investments. We design your financial goals, your investment plan, we design your wealth structure and your income strategy and a bit of entrepreneurship, because investing without a plan is guessing, and wealth is not built by guessing. It's built by good design and a good structure and a good strategy. So comment invest if you're ready to move with a good clarity in mind and a good direction. And I'll see you in the May cohort. See you.